Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. So today's topic of the webinar is Extension Kit for mFiles 101. I'm Katarina Šarić. I'm a marketing specialist here at Unitfly. So today we are talking about the Extension Kit. I'm sure that most of you already heard about it, but just to go over the basics, it's an mFiles add-on that offers extended functionalities to the mFiles without coding. So today, our CEO, Ivan, is going to introduce the basics of the extension kit and introduce the modules. And after that, our CEO and product owner, Alan De Biagi, is going to show you the demo and show the configuration in a few use cases. So just to be totally transparent, this first part, so the introduction and the demo, is pre-recorded. So I'm going to play the pre-recorded video, and after that we will have a live Q&A session with the CEO Ivan and our software engineer Tadej. So Tadej has been working on Extension Kit for quite some time now, and he is definitely the person to answer all the technical questions that you might have. So on your right side, you will see the chat. I encourage you to ask the questions during the presentation so we can answer them during the Q&A. And also, if you have any suggestions, for new features or new modules, feel free to write them there. We will definitely consider all of them. Okay, so now I will play the introduction and the demo, and we will see you after that.
Hi, hello everyone. Thank you, Katarina. Hopefully you can hear me well. And also you can see the presentation that I'm sharing. So yeah, as Katarina already said, I'm CEO of the Unitfly, and today I'm going to give you a brief introduction to the extension kit. I'm going to briefly explain what extension kit is, how we came to this point of, and how we have invested a lot of effort, and why we have invested a lot of effort the last couple of years to develop the extension kit. I will briefly touch some technical aspects of the extension kit, but actually I'm going to leave it to the Alan to show you the demonstration of the product. Okay, so before I start with the extension kit, just couple of information about the Unitfly. We are an mFiles partner based in Europe, and we have been successfully working with customers on mFiles implementations for last 7 years. Our team consists of both solution consultants doing mFiles implementations and working directly with our customers, as well as software engineering team that is responsible for software development. Besides doing mFiles implementations, our focus is also on developing add-ons for mFiles, and that's the main reason why we are here. Unitfly has a couple of products in the official mFiles catalog, but today we are going to talk about the extension kit. It's the most popular one and the solution that we are mostly discussing with our customers, but also with other mFiles partners. So extension kit is a VAF application, meaning that it is installed and it's maintained and it's run in the same way as every other mFiles VAF application. How we came to the point of starting developing the extension kit. From the very first moment, we realized that in order to deliver successful mFiles implementation to our customers, we would need to achieve some level of customization, both for smaller customers or larger customers, as well as smaller and larger implementations. When you have to do the customization, you have several issues. If you don't have software development team, then it's almost impossible for you to offer any kind of customization. If you do have, it's still the matter of availability and how you are going to prove the value to customers during the sales process. So in case your customer would like to see some kind of proof of concept in the sales phase, it is a question if you have available resources to do that kind of customization during the sales process. In the end, it can either cost customers more money, or even worse, you are not going to be able to win the customer in the end. Even if you have team and capabilities, the fact is that with addition of a new customization, your level of support needed will grow, meaning that more customization in the end means more complex support. If you would have to maintain many different code bases, that would require your support team and development team to continuously go back to the previous functionalities, and in case you would have any kind of bug in one solution, you would have to fix this in the different code bases, which means a lot of unnecessary work for your software development team. So that's why we wanted to develop the extension kit for mFiles, and we wanted to make it fully configurable, meaning that we wanted to have a tool that we can give to our solution consultants and give them access to many different functionalities from the very first contact with our customer, meaning that if our customers during the sales process or from very initial conversation about the project, they are able to prove the value. They're able to configure many different cases. They are able to do it without actually having to code anything and without actually having to ask for development resources. We also wanted to invest our efforts to make it, to develop it in a way that it's simple to maintain and simple to upgrade. That means that in the last couple of years, we were able to successfully add new functionalities to the extension kit and to add it in a convenient way, both for our customers and for our team members. And also what is very important is that each and every functionality and each and every feature of the extension kit has already been implemented for our customers. That means that every functionality that we have added to the customer, to the extension kit, was based either on our customers or another mFiles partners' requests. None of the functionality were just a result of our ideation and sitting in the office. All those examples and all the functionalities have been developed based on right use cases. In a nutshell, extension kit is based on actions that are triggered by events in the mFiles. In the same way, if you are going to do your own customization of the mFiles, you would like to react in some events happening in the mFiles, something that user do in the mFiles, and based on that action, you would like to achieve some functionality. So what we have supported in the extension kit is literally every event that you would like to react on in the mFiles. Object created, object changed, object entered specific state, object left state, when someone writes a comment, when someone deletes the object. Based on those actions, you would like to do some kind of functionality on the server side. So for example, if object enters the state, you would like to send HTTP request to send a document for digital signing. That is the case that you can achieve with the extension kit. So different actions are supported through the different modules, and I'm going to cover the concept of the modules very soon. So for example, you can copy property from one object to another. You can call SQL store procedure. You can create new objects, add advanced validation. Basically, a lot of functionalities that we are not going to even be able to cover it today. Extension kit modules are divided in 6 sections, at least how we see them. Integrations, modules used for different integration scenarios, property operations, all the modules and all the functionalities that you would like to achieve regarding the manipulating and working with the properties inside the mFiles. Then content operations, modules used for working with the content, working with the documents, transferring documents from one wall to another, transferring documents to FTP, adding watermarks, adding signatures, converting them documents to the PDF, reverting them back to the Word, and so on and so on. Object operations, modules that are used for working with the object. So if, for example, if you would like to automatically create 5 new objects when user puts source object into specific state of the workflow, you can do this with the extension kit. Then another one is for advanced notifications. We also wanted, and we had a need to support cases like users would like to send an email when something happens in the mFiles, but with included attachment from the mFiles. And then reporting, module that we are using for variety of exporting functionalities from the M files. Like, for example, you would like to periodically create the Excel file and then send it via email, and this Excel file will contain information about all the incoming invoices that you stored in the M files in the last 7 days, just as an example. Okay, so just briefly talking about that, with the integration modules, you can connect multiple systems without coding. So the whole idea about the extension kit is that you can achieve advanced functionalities without having to know how to code M files. So with integration modules, you can easily define when something happens in the M files, I'm going to make any kind of HTTP request. I want to call store procedures and similar use cases. With the property operations, I already mentioned, if you would like, for example, you have a date field in the M files and you would like to extract just the year, part of that date, you would like to extract the year, you can configure this in the extension kit in a probably minute or two. You don't have to write a VB script that's then very difficult to maintain in the future. Content operations, I already mentioned some of the functionalities, but what we wanted to support inside the content operation was more advanced operations against the documents. So there are a couple of different functionalities that are not supported in the compliance kit, or that are not supported in the already available M-file solutions, and that is the reason why we wanted to develop it on our own. And those are all developed in a way that they are fully configurable. Object operations, if you would like create new object, or for example, you would like to achieve advanced validation, meaning that when you're creating a contract, maybe you would like not just validate what user inputs on the metadata card, but you would like also do some more advanced validation against the other objects in the M files that are connected to this contract. You can do that. Notification, I already mentioned some of the functionalities. You can send emails with attachments. You can send automatic emails to external email addresses, also something that is not by default supported in the M files. Reporting, if you would like to do and achieve different reporting cases, but without using the database. So exporting in the multiple file formats and exporting to multiple export destinations. What's our vision for the product? We want to have the extension kit that is verified and trusted toolkit for M-files implementations. And this webinar is actually one of the first efforts from our side to prove that extension kit has been used heavily by some partners, that we have very advanced functionalities you can achieve without having to code anything. We have more updates coming to existing modules. We have a lot of new requirements for new modules, but we also have some of our own ideas. We also want to include you in idea generation. When I mentioned that we have developed the extension kit in a way that is simple to maintain and simple to update, we wanted to have that possibility to include both M-files customers and M-files partners in idea generation about the extension kit. So if you would like to see something supported in the M-files and you're not sure if it's doable or not, please let us know. We can always discuss how we can add support for this in the extension kit. And when Alan is going to show you the demonstration, you will realize how easy it is to configure new rules or functionalities in the extension kit. When it comes to pricing, it is very simple pricing structure. It's actually designed in the same way like newly M-files platform pricing module. And the price of the extension kit is basically depends on the number of the normalized users you are going to have inside the M-files, meaning that we are going to take into calculation how many named and how many concurrent users you have inside your M-files license. Meaning that if you have small implementation, it will cost you less, and if you have higher implementation customers with many M-files user licenses, it will cost you more. It is sold as annual subscription fee. as I said, in the same way like the MFALS sells their licenses. Just to give you an idea, the cost of the extension kit for Western Europe, I'm just going to use Western Europe as a reference, is €5 per normalized user, meaning that for that amount, you will have access to all the modules that I briefly mentioned and that we are going to cover today. Of course, we are not going to cover all the modules of the extension kit today, but you will have a chance to see a list of all the modules. Here you can see some of our extension kit customers. Those are not all the customers. What we wanted to emphasize here is that we are working directly with the MFALS customers, but also with the MFALS partners. We have many MFALS partners that are very satisfied and that they're using the extension kit for each and every of their implementation because they found a great value of using extension kit rather than having to do customization on their own. Thank you very much so far. That was it from my side. Very short presentation, but what I do believe you're all waiting for is to see how the extension kit actually works. So I'm going to ask Alan to join us and to share what he has prepared for today. What you are going to see today is a demonstration vault, one vault that we are building with all the different use cases that are able to use cases that we have configured in the extension kit and that we found as a very good examples of how to use the extension kit. And that is something that we are also going to make publicly available, meaning that if you would like to request a free trial of the extension kit, we are going to not just give you the free trial license and the extension kit as application, but we are also going to give you a fully prepared demonstration vault so you can see and have jumpstart on how to start working with the extension kit. Okay, so if we have Alan online, I would like him to join us right now.
Yeah, I'm here. Hopefully you can all see me. Yeah, I'm in the office. Yeah, hi, my name is Alan, and as Ivan said, I'll show you the demonstration vault. Let me share the materials. Okay. Okay, so what now I'll show you is the extension kit and the demo vault examples. So we will go through few examples, basically 4 modules, and at the end I'll show you and I'll write you and explain you one use case where we used almost 10 modules in one solution. And it's pretty, you will see that it's not complicated solution, but there are a lot of things that need to be covered. So first, the first use case that we will go through is, so we will use property operation for this, and the use case is when the opportunity is 1. Then, so for example, we will set the opportunity 1 when related offer is accepted. So when we send an offer to a customer, and if this offer is accepted, and we have all the offers in the M files, and when somebody from sales department, salesperson, sets that offer to accepted, we will set the related opportunity to 1. So we have property opportunity in the offer class, and then we will set this related opportunity to 1. So I'll now share my screen. Okay. So as I'm presenting on the primary screen, I believe that you can all see my screen. So the extension kit is, as all the other application, it's a Vault application. It has its dashboard where you can see all the modules, and you can see all the logs from different modules. So if you're using certain modules or certain, and then there are rules configured in that module, you will see what is going on in your vault. You also see all the errors, warnings, and so on. So our first use case is what we want to do is when the offer is accepted, we want to set the opportunity to 1. So we will use property operation for that. So every module is divided into groups. So you can first create a group. In that way, you can organize your rules. So we'll create a new rule. Usually we have some naming conventions, and that depends on the use cases. Sometimes we use like you also maybe are using in the metadata card per use case or per object type. That's usually the primary two ways how we are naming our groups, or per object type or per use case. So in this example, I'll just write it per use case. Okay, and we will create a new rule. So our rule is opportunity to 1 when offer is accepted. So here you can write a description. So in the future, maybe we'll have some kind of tool that they will parse all this configuration and give you a documentation. So it's useful to write description to that. For example, when to 1. So here is also okay. So this is our first step. We name them, we describe them. By default, it's the role is enabled. You have the configuration mode simple and advanced. So you can start with a simple, then you will have less options, and when you will go through the many different examples, you will use it in advanced level and in advanced options, because there are lots of different things that then you can change. For example, in this example, we will use copy mode from source to target. So our source is opportunity, and our source is offer, and our target is opportunity. So our copy mode is from source to target. You can also put it just on the source object, and that is also a usual scenario. When one object is changed, one property is changed, then you can change a different property on that object. So as Ivan mentioned, all rules in the extension kit are triggered or are written in the similar way. So you have a trigger. So and trigger is triggered by some event. So these are current events that we are supporting: object created, object changed, object change state, object entered the state. On comment, scheduled, that means that you can schedule this rule to be triggered once a day, once per week, on specific date, every 10 minutes, and so on. You can also have run once. For example, if you are migrating or adding a new value to certain number of objects, then you will do it once, and you can run it only once. In the dashboard, you can execute run once rule, and you will execute that only once, and then you can change it if you want for a future on some other object. And also you can have it orchestrated. That's the newest trigger. So that means that in orchestration module, you can orchestrate all these rules on different modules. So this is the most advanced scenarios, and you are using that when you want to have all your solution orchestrated, because now it's based on events when some object is changed or some properties object is changed or it's created and so on. But if you don't want to use it like that you can orchestrate it, for example, when one object is changed, then you can change all different objects and do a lot of different things in mfiles, and you use that, then you use orchestrated trigger for that. So in our scenario, when object is changed, and then we can also, if we want, we can monitor property, so and set when specific property is changed, but we don't want to do that. Our trigger source is offer, so this is a document and it's an offer. Okay, and it has workflow and it's accepted. Okay, so this is our trigger. So when this offer will be accepted, we want to do something. And we want to do that on a target. So our target, we will find targets via property. I don't want to go into many other details how we can else find the targets, but there are many ways that you can find the target. And our reference property is opportunity. Because as I said, and I will do it like this. As I said, so our offer has opportunity directly on a class. So our reference property is opportunity. It's direct, so that means it's on that class. It can also be indirect. That means that the opportunity has offer as a reference. And what we want to do, we will set the property state to a static mode, because we know what we'll do, and we will set it to 1. And that's it. So this is our rule, and it's configured. I put it to disable because I already created that rule in advance. Same rule here. Now we can see how this is work. So we'll create a new opportunity. And we'll put it to a customer unit fly. This is our new opportunity. Okay. And now we will create a new document, new offer. Okay. The customer is unit fly, and this opportunity is OPP 2. Okay. I'll check in immediately. So our new offer is created. Currently it's in a draft state. I will change it to internal review. And then I will put it in accepted. Okay. Now, when the offer is accepted, what we expect is that our opportunity that is connected here will be 1. Okay, and it's 1. And we can see in history that there was a mfile server action that put from new to 1 when this offer is accepted. Okay, that's our first scenario. Our second scenario is with object creation. So when contract is active, we will create an NDA document. Okay. So let's now I'll just go through the scenario. I will not create a new rule. Okay, so we have a contract workflow. Sorry, this is document processing, object creation. Okay. Okay, so we have an employee. We want to create an NDA. So when the person is employed and it's active, the NDA will be created. Okay, so the first step, we will name the rule. Then we need to define a source. So our source will be when the person, it's employee, when employee is in that workflow and it's active, we would like to create an NDA for that person. So when we employ a new person, new employee, we would like to create NDA, and we can also create a numerous new documents. So this is our trigger. Now what we need is a source, but at this our target, and now our target is new object. So we will create a new object. We can create it from a template, and template can be a static object. Also, we can create a search, vault search, for example, where template is NDA, or it can be a reference to the source object, and so on. So this is our static template, and we will set a property employee to self. So the same as a target. So this is, let me just show you quickly how this looks like. So we have a person that is employee, and we would like to create a new document that is NDA. And what NDA has, it's NDA name, which is a automatic property. This is automatic property, and we will add employee like a self. So that means that we will add that employee which is on the source, or also as a trigger. So we will add that employee. That means self, and that's it. So we can also add different, if we want, different properties here, but we only need one property because this is a simple example. Okay, so let's create a new person. It's for us is employee. So let's make it for a full time, and we don't need anything else. It will be in its workflow. Okay, now we have this new person who is waiting for HR approval. As administrator, I will just make it active. Okay, and when it's active, what we can see here, that we have new documents here, and we have that NDA here. And also, for now, this NDA is totally blank document, but as you all know, you can add all different placeholders here, and files placeholder that will be automatically filled. Okay, that's our second example. Okay. Okay, our third example is when we create a new contract, we want to add that contract to a database. We would like to add all the information about the contract in the database. For that, we will use SQL integration. So let's first check the database. So this is our database. We have table name contract. So if you execute here, you will see that we only have two records. Okay, let's go to the SQL integration. So this is a rule. We have two rules. First is contract insert. So as you already know, we need to define the trigger. So our trigger will be when the document and the contract, the document class of the contract is in a contract workflow and in a state active. We will execute a query. So here we will define a connection string. We will execute a query. So our query is a store procedure. It can also be a query. And that store procedure has some parameters. And all these parameters are from our contract. Let me show you the contract. So all these parameters are from our contract. For example, contract name, we are sending as parameter name. Company is company from class contract, from object, and the parameter name is company, and so on. So you can either execute query or store procedure, and this store procedure has some parameters that we are defining here. Okay, and that's it. So let's create a new contract. Okay, new document. Contract. Okay, employment contract. Let's name it. Contract ID. Version. Let's make it start date today. End date. Year. Effective date today. Let's say it's fixed. Inactive day in a year or 5. And employee, let's put it our new person too that we created. Okay. Let's create. Has no content. Okay. Okay. Capture status, it's signed. Okay, so now our contract is active. Let's check our database. Okay, and it's in the database. So this server is in the cloud, and also our database is platform as a service, also in the cloud, and it's working seamlessly. So really quick, as you all saw. So now in the database we have our new contract here, and then if we need to integrate that with some other system, we can do it like through the database or in some other way. Speaking of integrations, so our fourth and the last example is when our opportunity is won, we will call the API and send all the information about that opportunity to the API. And for that, we will use the HTTP integration. So we have also our rule. The trigger is opportunity when the opportunity is won. We have HTTP settings. So here is a URL. So this URL is our webhook. This is a webhook, sorry. Our webhook where we are sending the JSON file. So we are doing post and we are sending JSON file. So JSON file is like ID, object ID, name, property opportunity name, and a customer, the customer name. And that's something that we are sending to our webhook. And as our opportunity has already been won, and this is our opportunity that is won because our offer is accepted. Now, what we can see is that in that time we got new post to the API, and we can see our JSON. In this way, we can send all the different information to different APIs, and this is the way that you can always check. For example, if you have if you want to send something to different API, you can always use this webhook site so that you can check your request and also be sure that what you're sending to this API is valid, and then you can just change your URL, or you can just copy that same rule and just add your own URL here. So in that way, you will have you will send to API, and also you will send to your webhook, and you can also always check what you have sent. Okay, and that's our final example. And now, before we go to the questions, I'll just briefly tell you about the latest example and use case that we had. So we had a vision that is ERP, and the customers wanted to solve their incoming invoice approvals. So all these incoming invoices has their own purchase orders, and based on that purchase orders, you have requester, or you have the department that has requested that order. So the Navision is exporting purchase orders to the disk, and what we are doing, we are importing that purchase orders using the data transfer module in the M files. Then when they receive incoming invoice, they put it in the M files. They select the purchase order. Then from that purchase order, because when the purchase order is imported using the data transfer, on object created based on ID that we parsed from the name of the file, we enrich the data from the database to that purchase order. Then we have all the information from the purchase order. When customer selects that purchase order and connects them with incoming invoice, we get all the data that we need for validation. So we know all the paths that will go for validation. Then we also checked using extended validation if this incoming invoice is already in the M files. And how we are doing that is that we are checking the number of the invoice, we are checking the customer, and a year. So these are three properties that we are checking. If everything is the same, then this will not go. It will bring error that this invoice already exists. If this pass, it will go to the approval. Then we are using auto properties to extract a year from that incoming invoice, because we need that in when we are sending data to the Navision after the approvals. So what we are doing then, we create a new document. It's like signatory page where we are adding all the persons that are signed and approved that invoice. Then when everything is approved, we are merging that page to the incoming invoice, so that on every invoice, on the last page, you have all the details. You have the number, you have all the persons that approved, all the details that accounting needs in order when they have some kind of when somebody is checking them. Then when this document is approved, incoming invoice, then we are sending all this information that document is approved and it's ready for posting to the Navision using HTTP module. And that's where this process ends. Every month we are sending report from the M files to the email to the accounting for all incoming invoice that we processed. And also they have a rule after 5 years, they are archiving all these invoices to another vault. So we are using vault to vault there. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is a simple scenario, and I believe all partners are once they implemented incoming invoice, and we've used 10 different modules to satisfy all the scenarios that customer had.
Okay, thanks to Ivan and Dan for sharing all of the things regarding the extension kit. Okay, so we have one question here. I encourage you all to ask anything that you might want to know. So I will invite, firstly, I will invite Ivan and Tadej to the stage. Okay. Hi, Ivan. And hi, Tadej.
Hey.
Okay, so we have one question here. Okay, so one of the modules is Orchestrator. Could you please explain briefly the purpose of this module? Okay, so I think this is probably a question for Tadej.
Okay. So the primary function of the orchestrator model is to call rules from different models based on some specific rules. Let's say this can be useful in use cases where one object, one change on one object then triggers a series of different rules from different models. And if you want to have control over the order in which these rules will be executed, then this all can be done with the orchestrator model. So this is
Okay, great.
That's it.
Okay, so if we don't have any more questions, I would like to ask Ivan just to say a few words about what's next for Extension Kit. Maybe tell us a bit more about the licensing, because that's something that most of the people are usually asking regarding the Extension Kit.
Sure. When we were at the Global Partner Conference in Mexico a month ago, there was a lot of feedback about the extension kit, and one of the reasons why we wanted to repeat this webinar once again is because we heard from other partners that they would like to see the basics of the extension kit and how the extension kit helped them in their delivering their impulse implementations. So once again, I encourage you all, please share the feedback with us. Let us know what you're looking for. Let us know if there are any specific topics like this question, Orchestrator. Do you want us to deliver specific webinar just on or to cover the Orchestrator topic? We can do that. Also regarding the licensing, we had many discussions with a lot of partners. We have aligned the licensing and the pricing with the MFALs. So just to have a very simple way for how you're doing business with Unify, and for you to have the convenient way handling your MFAL subscriptions and annual subscriptions for your customers. But also we are aware that we are talking with partners of different sizes and with partners around the globe, meaning that just looking from the participant list here on the webinar, there are partners that are part of the global companies that are global MFALS partners. Of course, their perspective is much different than some partners that are doing MFALS implementations in other parts of the world. Maybe they're focusing only on one market. So whenever you will get a quote from our side, whenever you will have a discussion either with your customers or with us on the licensing and the pricing, please do share feedback with us. We have aligned this with the MFALS, and we are not going to, and we cannot change a lot of different things, but once we know the feedback you hear from your customers, we might be able to react on it and adapt with the time. Also, I just wanted to mention a couple of things regarding the roadmap from our side. We are heavily working on more advanced integration with the Excel and the Microsoft Word. So we are expanding the existing Excel integration tool within the extension kit. And also we are going to work on more enhanced configuration experience. So also based on the feedback and how we are using the extension kit, we would like to have some better visibility and more easier way for us to do the maintenance of the extension kit rules. Once again, it was mentioned during the webinar, there is a demo vault. For all of you that are just starting with the extension kit, or all of you that do not have a lot of experience working with the extension kit in many different use cases, many different scenarios, many different projects, Demo Vault is by far the best starting point to play around with the extension kit. It has pre-configured rules, it has descriptions, we have explained the use cases for each of those rules in the Demo Vault. So just looking around and going through the configuration, it will be clear for you which modules serve which purpose. So I would encourage you to check the Demo Vault. And Katarina, you are probably going to mention other useful resources. So if there are no questions for me, I'm leaving it to you,
Thank
Katarina, to
you, Ivan.
close it
Thank
for
you
today.
So here I will put our email addresses here. So if you have any suggestions regarding the marketing side, the side of the resources and what you need for the extension kit, you can contact me, you can contact Ivan. For any technical problems, you can talk to Tadej, and in the end you have this product consulting mail where you can ask any questions regarding our products. So here's that. And also I am putting out a handout. So this is all of the resources that you have for the extension kit. So here is the link to the Demo Vault, to the free trial, to the use case videos that we have on YouTube, and so on. So you can download that and have everything that you need for the extension kit. And yeah, I would like to thank you all for joining us today. Hopefully it was insightful and you learned something, and you maybe saw what extension kit can do and you didn't know before. So I encourage you to download the free trial, try out the Demo Vault, and see the full potential that the extension kit has and can do for your MFiles. So yeah, thank you very much, and hopefully we'll see you soon.